Madrid has a problem. And it isn't just Alonso. It's a mix of circumstances and execution. And that's one thing that we are going to be talking about today here on Pillar Sports. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this. We can always talk about the current results and the raw performances. It is definitely a problem and is something that we are seeing, even though Real Madrid sits currently second in La Liga, with a strong record of 11 wins, 3 draws and 2 losses. And they are still near the top of the table. Recent results have been poor. It's been poor enough to create pressure on Xabi Alonso. But we need to look deeper. We need to look deeper about what is happening at Real Madrid. Because if we do not, we are doing you guys a disservice. But we, most especially in putting pressure on Xabi Alonso alone, we are trying to solve an illness by only looking at the outside. We're not going deep under the skin to know what the problem is. And that is what we're going to talk about today. Expected goals for Real Madrid in the data shows that Real Madrid they are underperforming. They aren't underperforming drastically on the season's basis. They have a high XG output with 2.26 per match. An XG differential that suggests quality, creation, and structural strengths. The reason why I brought on XG right away from the top of the show is because I want to paint a picture for you guys on what Real Madrid is doing and how they are doing it before we get into how we feel about it, how we are watching and what the eye test is telling us. We need to understand the context. It is absolutely crucial that we do that. In other words, the team is creating chances at an elite level, but they have struggled to constantly finish and clean up mistakes in the key moments. And that right there is where the problem lies. And then you look at the situation, the conversion issues and finishing efficiencies in big parts in this slump. Real Madrid has won 2 games out of 9, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, that is what they have won. They are underperforming on actual goals versus chances created. That's one thing that I want to say, because they are creating so many good chances, but putting it away, it's a problem. And we saw that against Manchester City yet again. Because apart from Rodrigo's brilliance in taking that opportunity, we saw the opportunity that Vini Jr. had. We saw the opportunity that Jude Bellingham had. And all of them did not take it. The decision making in the box, when you decide to shoot, when you decide to feint, when you decide to pass, all those things tally up in you making the right decision. And so Jude Bellingham deciding to dink the goalkeeper when he literally laid the pass for Rodrigo to score, and the way Rodrigo scored should have given you a clue on what to do when the goalkeeper is in that same situation. Put your laces through it. Dinking it is all good. It's all well and good when it goes off. When you pull it off, it is all well and good. But if you don't pull it off, especially when you are losing to a Manchester City side that do not want to give you opportunities, that right there is a problem. And I'm not saying that Jude Bellingham is a problem, because he is one of the best things to come out of Real Madrid. But what I am saying is that decisions absolutely are costing Real Madrid right now. This is not only typically a managerial problem. Finishing variability often depends more on the player execution, confidence and form. Yesterday against Manchester City, the player that literally had one of the first starts in his year, Rodrigo, absolutely played out of his mind. He was the only one in that first half that was threatening to Manchester City. He was so threatening, he got a goal. And as he got that goal, and I'm like, okay, Madrid has to kick on. And then you start seeing the stupid mistakes, the stupid decisions. Now, I truly did not think that second goal that Manchester City scored was a penalty, because it's a physical game. You want contact. That is what makes our game beautiful. And so giving that a penalty is problematic. And I think that is where VAR needs to chill out a bit. Chill out a bit. But then you see an opportunities upon opportunities. And then you see Xabi Alonso bring on Arda Güler. Arda Güler goes in to the registrar position and starts dictating play, allowing Jude Bellingham move forward. And then you see Jude Bellingham come to life, running through the Manchester City defense, creating opportunities, giving it to Brahim Diaz, giving it to Vinicius Jr. And sadly, Vinicius Jr. did not get the goals. But the key thing I want us to understand is that Vini has been having a problem ever since Kylian Mbappe came into this team. We saw Vini take Real Madrid single-handedly to the Champions League. Vini Jr. did not all of a sudden become a bad player. We need to be clear at that. He did not all of a sudden not know how to play football. He was the runner-up to Rodri in the Ballon d'Or season, and I personally could arguably say that he deserved it to win it instead of Rodri. But I'm not going to go into that debate. But he did not become a bad player all of a sudden. What happened was the onus of the play switched from Vinicius Jr. to a better player in Kylian Mbappe. What happened is that the bringing of Kylian Mbappe and placing him in the number 9 position, thinking that he would play perfectly with Vinicius Jr. was not the right answer. Because what you see in Vini's opportunities when he has a striker that can pull defenders away from the place where he wants to cut inside, it's not there when it comes to Kylian Mbappe in the team. Because Kylian wants to drop in, get the ball and create magic. Kylian drops in, Kylian runs in behind. He has all the tools, but the truth about it is, Kylian is more of a player that wants the ball to feet. He's not the player that only loves running in behind. He does love that. I'm not going to lie to you. But we all know that Kylian Mbappe loves playing from the left-hand side. And that is where Vinicius Jr. plays. Vinicius Jr. plays on the left, but Kylian is always going to flock towards the left. And then you create a situation where everywhere is crowded. And I'm not saying that they are not playing well together. I am saying that you're not getting an efficient team all around because of the lack of balance up front. That's what I'm saying. So let's talk about the recent poor results. These are severe results, really poor results, I'm not going to lie, but not exclusively tactical. That's why I'm not saying we should point the fingers at Xabi Alonso. Because Xabi Alonso, this same thing we were seeing under Carlo Ancelotti. The same thing we were seeing under Carlo Ancelotti. And it's all about building the squad. It's all about building the squad. The squad is not built for balance. The squad is going back on saying, I want to get all the best young talent. This is the same thing, right? It's the same thing that Florentino Perez did when he was doing the whole Galactico. However, now, instead of getting the already made Galactico, he's getting the young talent Galactico. Arda Güler and Jude Bellingham wants to play in the same position. Now, Arda and Jude are adaptable enough to play together, with one being the number 10 and one being the number 6, or one being the number 10 and one being the number 8. We have seen them play together. But the key thing is, the question we need to ask, is it the best for the entire squad? Do we have synergy in the entire squad? Do we capitalize on their best attributes? Because watching the game against Celta Vigo, losing 2-0 at home is never a good sign. Getting red cards, three red cards, is never a good sign. It's a sign of serious indiscipline from the players. And that also reflects on Xabi Alonso. But the tactical missteps in that game was not the case. In that game, those players did not come out to play. They did not put intensity in the way they played. They thought that playing Celta Vigo is already a guaranteed 3 points. And they lost. And today again against Manchester City, where Real Madrid conceded from individual mistakes, individual boneheaded mistakes. Because Jude Bellingham allowing Gvardiol to out-jump him is a problem. Not putting your body in Gvardiol's area to make sure that Gvardiol is not getting a perfect header on the ball towards your goal. And also, Carreras not finding a way to move away from O'Reilly and trying to struggle with O'Reilly, pushing him back, is also an individual gasp. Not gasp, but maybe a lack of thought in that sense. That right there is a problem. Real Madrid at the Celta Vigo game in the second half, after they got that red card, all of a sudden dominated the game. They dominated the game. The expected goals in that particular game for Real Madrid was 2.29 to 0.55. They failed to convert. We all know that. But this is not just about tactical. It's literally the hunger that we are seeing in Real Madrid. It feels like they are okay. It feels like they're comfortable. It feels like they feel like I am a Real Madrid and I have made it. Real Madrid of old, when you get there, you still have to make a name for yourself. You still have to create a legacy for yourself. If not, you are a failure at Real Madrid. Now, Vinicius Jr., Champions League winner. Jude Bellingham, Champions League winner. And we know the defense is absolutely shattered, that even Rudiger should not be in the team right now because he still had some days to keep on recouping. And he was forced into this situation because of they did not have anybody else. Player availability is truly a problem. Because Real Madrid are hit with serious injury crisis right now. From the defense to the midfield, all affected in that sense. Trent Alexander-Arnold, one of the best creators, not available. Militao, not available. I can keep going. The squad is suffering, and is suffering big time. So I do not really think that Real Madrid fans should focus solely on Xabi Alonso, because if you bring in any manager in this situation, I truly believe that they are still going to struggle. This is a growing pain. This is a growing situation for Xabi Alonso. He is going to figure it out. Just give him the time to do it. Bottom line, the hot seat is misplaced. Xabi Alonso's overall metrics and the chance creation are solid. Recent bad results are concentrated over a short sample and not an entire season. Many issues, red card, injuries, poor finishing, all fall more on players than tactical alone. Key players publicly back him, indicating a locker room trust. His coaching track record before Madrid was elite. So let's give him time. Let's stop singling him out, isolating him, and thinking that changing him will solve Real Madrid issues. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this down in the comment. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that follow button, and I'll see you guys in the next.